Hello, good morning. Oops, let me close the door. Just wanted to hop on and say good morning to my son, Nick. You are up. I appreciate that. Living life, taking on the day. Nick, good to see you. I think we have a stream later. I think you set it for 3:30, which will be great. I will be there rolling up at the last minute, but do not schedule it any later. We're going to keep it there at 3:30. Got it? Love it. And by the way, tell them what the stream is. Tell them what the stream is, because we're doing it on YouTube as far as I know. And it's the $9.99 tier on Patreon. The $9.99 tier every month gets a live stream where they get to request music that I react to. Boom, one other benefit. Now, it doesn't mean everybody on that tier gets a reaction, because we don't have time for that. It's too many people. But Nick asked for a request ahead of time, and the people that request, we do our best to cover what we can. So, just saying, that VIP tier on Patreon and the $9.99 tier on Patreon are completely worth it as a try, even for a month. How about a Christmas present to yourself? Where do you get free help? Typically, you're going to call, look at the links in our description. Honestly, Andre, there are links in our description of all our videos to a couple of different help organizations, NAMI being one of them, that offer free counseling to people. So you can get it there. You can also get it in different practices. You can call and ask practices. I offer 10% of my work every week to people that do not pay. So if I see 20 people in a week, using a round number, then pretty much 2 hours on average is what I give for free. So I take on cases where it's not always a financial thing, honestly. Sometimes it's what I just want to give or reduce fees, rates. So you can call around and ask there. Sometimes churches will support too. Good to see everybody. Fellow YouTuber Bruce Rivers lost his son to opioid addiction. I don't know who Bruce Rivers is, but I'm so sad for that. We got to do something with the drug issue in our world. Thanks for letting me know that. Body dysmorphia. I'm always going to say therapy. I know you'll get tired of that. Like, people want, what else can I do other than therapy? I would get therapy or treatment or support group. It's good for that. But also really concentrate. I mean, EMDR would be good for that. So aside from treatment stuff, what you can do day to day is concentrate on what you do have going for you, what you do love about yourself, and really trying to practice some affirmation stuff just to plant inside your head through, because so much of the time, I always say, if you're going to bring a negative in one hand, bring a positive in the other. We don't balance those very much. Tabitha, finding love as a young widow, is it wrong? No, it's not wrong. No, not at all. How do you get past a narcissistic relationship? Nick, leave it. Leave it. Narcissists are if it's truly that, sometimes they're just narcissistic. It's not a diagnosable thing. They are just very self-centered, have a huge ego. But in the true sense, you would leave it. Marnik, thank you. A lot of therapy for years. Favorite music, I don't know which favorite music is, but I love it. Thank you. David, great to see you in here. Thanks for being here. How can you stay somewhere that's bad for your mental health, but nowhere to go but homeless? Yep. Man, David, great point. There's a lot of people in stuck situations where this is all I got. So you make the best of it. Journal a lot. If you get therapy, good, but journaling helps. Listening to podcasts, blogs, writing. The journaling stuff to me is huge. Reading kind of self-help or self-confidence type books and materials is good because it can keep you focused and centered. Yeah. It can be a lot. It can be hard. And you have to be honest about it too. So one of the things I always try to get people to do is, it's like sports. Don't focus as much on the other team. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on what you need to do. And so how do you live the best life? How do you set good boundaries around how much time you're going to let yourself be in a toxic situation? And how do you let yourself escape and still do things to grow you and build you? It's important in your routine. Daniel, great to see you. David's great. He's like, I can squash that, Daniel, real quick. Janchi, good to see you. Yes, I've struggled with mental health issues. Yeah, it's not what pushed me to become a therapist at all. No, I just love working with people. I love psychology. I love the brain. I love patterns and habits in people, and how I love helping people. Uh, I love helping people figure out how to help themselves in life. It's incredible. But tons of mental health stuff in the past. Not as much anymore, just because I feel like I've worked very hard on myself, and I've worked very hard on how I am as a husband and a father. And life problems still happen, but I don't allow them to bring me back to that same place. I feel like I'm going to fail my exams. Boy, Matt, that's one of my biggest fears. You're triggering me. I always had this dream that I woke up literally on the day of the final. And I went to class and I hadn't been the whole semester. And that was my biggest fear. So what you can do is focus on what you do know. With exams, look, bad news never gets better with time. If you're not prepared, or if it's a really hard class, or you don't know how to handle it, or you're in over your head, it is what it is. Try not to go in with the message of failing. That's why EMDR can work a lot with wonders with this. But try to close your eyes and meditate. See yourself taking that exam. See yourself answering the questions. See yourself knowing the material you do know. Like, go in with what you do know and see yourself doing well. Don't fool yourself. You have to study. But if you sit with the fear all day, it's going to create itself. Oh, I'm so sorry, Deeps. Man, so much loss during the holidays. So much loss. And especially when there's argument involved. And write a letter. Write a letter to your mom. Get it down on paper, how you feel. Daniel, it's good advice on working, on trying to work. And I do believe in work. You know, get trained in something, find something you're interested in, find mentor underneath somebody, that kind of thing. I love the mental health field. I don't love always where we are today in the mental health field, because I think a lot of young people coming out of school are not trained or educated well enough. And also, I think they are out on their own too soon, honestly, with social media. A lot of people posting, and it's just a lot out there. And I think it takes years really to get your feet underneath you in this field and to know what you're doing and to know how to handle certain situations. But, you know, we are where we are. Sinner, good to see you. Good morning. We are all here for the family chat. Everybody loves Sinner. Recently got a job in Nartito. Recently got a job in the career that I love, but I feel an extreme level of imposter syndrome. I feel like coworkers will one day realize how incompetent I am. It's real for a lot of people. And what I want you to do, and this is why therapy is so helpful, support groups, mentors, friends that are really supporting you, is to know that, you know, people are pretty smart. They're not going to hire you unless they feel like they really have somebody that has what it takes. And you've got two choices. You can go prove that imposter syndrome right and allow that to defeat you, or you can look at life and say, what do I have going for me? Because if they hired you, they believe in you and they expect you to do things. The imposter syndrome piece so often comes from a fear of failure, and we're worried it's going to all fall apart. So believe in yourself, but also believe in the facts. Like, what have I done? What have I been educated in or trained in to get me to this spot? Because a lot of times that answers the questions. Ladybugs, good to see you. Is therapy worth it in the long run? Yes. If you're with the right person, if you're with the right person, vegan, yes, completely worth it, 100%. If you're not with the right person, it's not, and you're going to see it. Kona. Mary Stevens, Tom, take on the day. That's my mom. She's seen me grow up and make plenty of mistakes in life. There she is. W. Mary. Hi, Mom. I love you. Thanks for popping in today. Tell Dad I said hi. And I miss him. And I miss you, too. I don't mean that. It's just that you're the one typing here. So it's great to see you, Mom. Thanks for showing up today. 2 choices, Nick says. Make moves or make excuses. NF. Straight from the mouth of NF. What do therapists consider the best practice for preventing constant exposure to clients sharing extremely traumatic experiences becoming something they've vicariously internalized or absorbed? Oh my goodness, Blake, what a question. Number 1, they get consultation with other therapists to kind of just air things out and talk about it. Number 2, they get therapy themselves if it's really personally affecting them. And number 3, you learn boundaries. You learn that this client is for me in this time, and outside of it, I need to be a husband and a father and a friend and a person. So really, that's what takes so many years to get yourself settled into, because you have to care immensely in the time that you're with them. And my compassion and empathy and care for my clients goes way beyond the session. I just don't carry the responsibility of their life beyond the session. And so that's how it works. Hi, Mary. Happy holidays. Yep, everybody loves Mary. Oh, that's right, Nick. It's not NF. I thought it was NF, but it's Andy Mineo. That's right. Y'all go check out the line. Arcane is out on episode 2, season 1, episode 2 is out on Patreon, the VIP tier. Go check that out when you get a chance. It is worth it. It's a great series. We're going through it. You can watch it with me, unedited. The edited version's out on YouTube now. You can go check it out. It's a shortened version, but it's a really fun thing. Great way to support a channel, and also a great way to see extra content, because there are albums on there too. And if you really want to have fun, go to the $9.99 tier, which has a live stream every month. One's happening today. You could join today and pop in there today. And we're taking requests from that tier. Not everybody gets a request because we don't have enough time to do that, but we're taking requests from that tier, and they get a video Zoom call once a quarter, which is so much fun. I love that tier. Anyway, consider that on Patreon, especially with Arcane if you love Arcane, because it's worth it. Any advice for heartbreak and any other life advice in general? Heartbreak is keep yourself busy living your life. Try not to stay stuck in the past. Remember, reflect on the past, don't dwell on the past. Find a new routine. Don't wander around the same social media posts. Don't follow the person online. Don't look at their posts. Don't look at their location, whatever stuff you got going on. Find your new routine. Exercise, balanced eating, healthy sleeping, good amount of sleep. You gotta have a routine. So the best way to get over heartbreak is to find a new routine for yourself. I don't mean forget about what happened, but if you're gonna dwell at all, dwell for a short period of time, which is reflecting. Take 30 minutes and say, I'm gonna let myself be miserable and depressed and sad, and write down or listen to music that's gonna bring me back to that relationship. Then I'm gonna move myself out of it and I'm gonna live my life. If you have to do it, pick amount of time and go back in. Otherwise, find a new routine. Getting up, going to sleep at a certain time, exercising is very good for it. Going on walks or jogs is very good. And balanced eating. Don't let yourself suffer in any of those areas. Jonathan Price, watched the first video of yours. I said, no way this old guy will catch anything in this song. Boy, I proved wrong. That's so, thank you, Jonathan. That's so nice of you. Thanks for saying that. There's most of the time I don't catch things. I'm trying not to like pretend, but I sure don't do a long, in-depth study of things before I see them. I'm just looking for what I can. I gotta make it or make it. I gotta make it or make it. I don't take any meds. I have before, but it seemed to make me worse. People are different. Meds work great for some. You're right, Amanda, that's true. Meds work great for some people. John Keegan, good to see you. Oh, there's so many good comments here. When you get to the end, Brandy, when you get to the end of Arcane, I don't want to get to the end. And I'm already at the beginning. I don't want to get to the end. Would love to hear who your favorite character is and what advice you would give. Even the worst of the worst have mental health issues. Man, you're not kidding. People struggle. Favorite so far? It's gotta be Powder, right? It's gotta be. So sweet. Just a fighter, trying her best to just be somebody in spite of having the roughest odds thrown against her. Um, is it Milo that's my irritant? That's like, I know, I know. He probably had a tough time in life. Seems like a classic middle child. I don't know. There's just a lot there. I could sit here. We could do a live stream and just talk about Arcane and the different characters, but I don't want to get ahead of myself and I don't want to hear anything that's coming because episode 3, I think I'm recording today or tomorrow. I think I want to do it tonight. And everybody says episode 3 is going to knock me over, and I don't want that. My biggest fear is that something happened. And people said after episode 2 that Vi was the one that wrote the note to the police to turn herself in, and I didn't catch that. I didn't see that, but it's sad for me. So the police are coming to the door to get her, and it's going to destroy Vander. And these kids can't lose Vander, hands down. That better not ever happen. That's all I'm saying. Anyway. Tom, I want 10 kids, but wife only wants 1. Get 1. If she's that good, Daniel, and she can decorate a house the way she can, 1's good. I know you're kidding. Bray is in the house. Good to see you, Bray. Member of the Inner Circle on Patreon. If someone doesn't want to live, but, oh man, here we go. But is not suicidal because of depression, should a therapist push the person to change their perspective? No. I don't really try to push a person to change their perspective. What I try to do is let them see a purpose. So I don't know if that's pushing. I'm like, I totally get it. It's like I talked about my dad lately, he said, you know, I'm just ready. I'm ready to go, man. If it's my time to leave this earth, I'm ready because it's miserable here. And I get it. I don't try to change that. Like, I get it, given your circumstance. So I wouldn't try to change the perspective. I would try to let them balance both sides, is all I mean. And sometimes it gets too much. Better to keep pushing on in spite of one's mistakes than it is to do nothing out of fear and failure. Yep, keep pushing. I gotta fast forward. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for the questions too. I'm just skipping around. If I didn't answer your question, you can ask it again. Is your job 90% listening because most want to just vent? Beaches, no. Sadly, I talk and y'all hear me, right? I'm a talker. My wife listens intensely and she speaks 10% of the words I do. And she says probably a more powerful message. I don't know how she has the gift because she can say things very succinctly that are very clear. And I talk a lot through stories and words and examples. But a lot of my job isn't listening, it's talking. Feeling like my functional depression turning into really bad and can't do anything or go to school. Any advice? Try to take this morning. Narrow down your world, because sometimes the world gets so big and you're like, it's covering me up, it's enveloping me, it's weighting me down. Just take this morning. I would say first take today, then take this morning, and then take this hour. What can I do this hour to be able to get myself up and out? Remember, I always say, balance keeps you stable. Balance. Eating, exercise, rest. Go to bed in a certain window of time, wake up in a certain window of time. Make sure you keep eating regularly, exercise regularly. Those are all things that are going to help you. So you've got to get back to just balance routine first before you cure depression. Depression is cured through activity and movement and motion. Is listening a skill like being able to communicate? Yes, listening is a super skill, and it can be learned and practiced. Any advice helped me overcome the idea of my parents' actions affecting my life? Yeah, put it in perspective. Like, as you grow up, a mentor of mine once said, shame on, he's like, talking about his upbringing with his parents. He said, shame on my parents for raising me that way, and shame on me for staying that way. And I live with that advice to this day, because it's really wise to think, okay, even if things didn't happen the way they should have, or your parents didn't treat you the way they should all the time, they're doing the best they can with what they have, whether it's functional or not. But also, shame on me for staying that way. If I just sit here and blame it on that or point the finger at that the rest of my life, I have to be able to go out and make my life. That's why therapy matters. Because you can have somebody walk alongside you and say, what can you do in spite of what's happened to you? It's like divorce, right? I say children pay the price for adult choices. They do. They didn't ask for any of this, but they still have to grow up and not let that completely affect the rest of their life. Excuse me. Man, I got clients today and I'm sad because I would sit on here and just talk to y'all about all this stuff. Help control anxiety attacks. Go for walks. Walks is good. They talk about breathing. EMDR can help with that a lot if you can learn EMDR skills. Get a book called, I forget the name of it now. Tapping In, I think it is, Laurel Parnell. That's a good one. Gerben, how do I stop gambling? Go to 12-step meeting, GA. Go to 12-step meeting. Look it up online first. See the information, answer the questions. 12-step programs are good at saying, answer these questions. You decide whether you're compulsive gambler, alcoholic, drug addict, whatever. You decide. But how do you stop gambling? Number one, you go to 12-step meeting. Number two, therapy is good because it lets you see how these patterns started. But number three, you get yourself away from everything that allows you to do it. And I always tell people, you tell your secrets. You tell how you do it, what you do it with, where you do it, when you do it. You reveal all the secrets, so you expose what you do. And when you reveal your secrets and everybody who's close to you around you knows, they can keep an eye on you and you can be more closely monitored, because you need that in the beginning, and that's what 12-step programs do for you. But 100%, I would say that. I love the shirt you wear. It says 21 Positives are my therapy. Reaction therapy is my therapy. Sam, I want to send you one of those. Nick, Sam, DM Nick over at Instagram. I'm going to have a shirt made. If you DM Nick, I will have a shirt made for you that says reaction therapy is my therapy. We don't have one. It's never been one made. I didn't think people would ever want that. Reaction therapy is my therapy. I would send it to you. I don't know where you live though. Sometimes sending stuff over to like the Netherlands is like $40 just to send anything. Do husbands not listen more than wives not communicating? That's a great question, Beaches. That's debatable. I don't want to get in a husband-wife fight here between people. Oh, well, there's lots of therapists who believe in meds. I mean, I think there are moments for meds with people for sure. I've seen it work. I've seen it work different times. We can't prescribe meds as therapists. Only psychiatrists can do that. But I do get that point. How's the process getting diagnosed with autism, ADHD? I don't know. It depends on where you are, Sprout, honestly, because there's a shortage on Adderall right now, which is like rough for some people. I don't know if any of y'all have that, but there's a shortage and it's not enough of it around. I don't know what happened. Factory burned down or something, but Adderall, a lot of people end up getting it elsewhere, which is not good. Last push for 400K by the end of the year, 9K away, please. We are 9,000 people away from 400,000 subscribers, 11 days left. Nick was wanting by the end of the year to get to 400,000 subscribers, but we'd have to get like 600 and something a day at this point, and I just can't see that happening. But Nick is ever optimistic, y'all. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We'd love to see you over there. I feel 5 more minutes and then I gotta go. I feel disconnected. My family, black sheep. And sorry, man, lyric, sorry. Black sheep. Those are tough because you have to have this inner belief. You have to have this inner something that says, I'm not going to let their opinion of me change my opinion of me. And that really is some inner work. You know, it takes some writing, it takes some therapy, but it can be with you by saying, who do I see myself to be? If I'm different, or if I've done things different, or even if I've gotten into trouble or had bad things happen, no matter what, if you're a black sheep, you have to then redefine yourself and say, who do I want to be in life? How do I treat people? How do I treat myself? Because it can be really rough sometimes, and you got to pull from inside some belief in spite of how they feel about me, I'm going to try to still be the best I can in life and go out and make life as good as I can. Can I get a Tom Stevens is my therapist shirt? We're coming up with a whole new line of therapy, huh? Let's send David a Tom Stevens is my therapist shirt. Then people look at that and say, who is that? Is he like some like person? Like what? Y'all are funny. Y'all are just hilarious. Deal with inferiority and trust myself. Oh, it's a lot of internal self-dialogue. A lot of these are going to be therapist. You need therapy to be able to talk through this with somebody because we tend to think the worst of ourselves. Unless you're a narcissist, then you think the best of yourself. But we tend to like put ourselves down before we lift ourselves up. And so you need to give, again, the balance of good versus bad. For every negative I put about myself out there, I need to put a positive out there. Y'all are the best. Thanks for doing all this. Goated, great to see you. Thanks for being here. I know I'm missing messages here, but I just can't see all the messages. It's impossible, y'all. There's too many coming in. Like the stream, everyone. That's true, David. David, 100% right. 50 people in here, 20 likes. Thanks, Sprout. Peace. I only ever feel good about myself when I'm at the gym and have a pump. Man, David, I wonder what that would feel like. At this point, I think I'd break my back. Do you think most people think negatively, which leads to needing therapy? Yes, it can be, Beaches. Sometimes life situations happen, though, y'all, and therapy's needed. We lose someone, we have a big tragic thing happen, so it's not always just negative self-belief. Thanks, Rookie. 3's up. G59. Please read my question. Please, please. Raman, I just read it, but it wasn't a question. How do you deal with someone who texts? Hey, Slim Shady's here. Eminem, love your work. Love it. Want to talk to you one day. How do you deal with someone who texts you and tells you they got suicidal thoughts? A friend of mine told me I would refer them, report them, tell on them. I would do whatever I can because I err on the side of caution, and I'm like, you're not playing games with me. I take this seriously anytime you put this out there. And you need help. You need people to watch you. So I would do something about it. Tom called me David. Did I really, Daniel? Losing my mind here. Oh, I'm not narcissistic. I am the best. Oh, y'all are too funny. Adderall's not too bad if it's done with the prescription. My phone is wobbly here. Daniel, you could only wish to be me. Y'all are great. Oh, man. I'm not the real Eminem. I'm a simple fan. Thank you. Slim. Will the real Slim Shady please stand up? Please stand up. I hope y'all have a great day. It is time for me to go. I'm grateful for y'all. Don't forget a live stream today at 3:30 p.m. Go check out the Arcane reactions on Patreon, the VIP tier. There are more and more people every day joining that tier. I'm telling you, I am going to have a live stream with that, Nick doesn't even know this, with that tier only. I know I normally say that tier and above, but I want to do one honoring and celebrating the people who just joined for that tier because they appreciated that tier, and see how many show up, because I know there's well over 100 people on that tier at this point, and I just want to celebrate. So I think this weekend I'm going to do that, because this weekend I'm off for a whole week. I'm off all next week. Yes, I can't believe it. Love y'all very much. Appreciate you. No scripts coming from me, man. I can't write scripts. The script club. Justin Bieber, love him. Okay, I love y'all. Appreciate you. Have a good day. See you.